In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good.
A tomb, the god of the oldest creation story ever told. In ancient Egypt, a tomb, alternatively spelt Tem, Timu, Tam, and Atem, was one of the early gods of Egyptian mythology, associated with creation and the Ennead of Heliopolis, a pantheon of 9 deities. Etymologically, his name denotes completion or ultimacy. A tomb was thought to represent both the self-engendering origin of the cosmos as well as the setting sun. Mythologically, he was most renowned as the father and mother of the gods. According to the Pyramid texts, a tomb was seen as a solitary, primordial living being who had arisen by his own force from the chaotic waters of Nun. Once he emerged onto the primordial mound, Bemben, he took it upon himself to create the cosmos, personalized as Shu, air, and Tefnot, moisture, and their children, Geb, earth, and Nut, sky. To accomplish this feat, the monadic deity proceeded to lose his vital fluids, which were said to be spittle, mucus, or semen, upon the waiting earth, from which sprang up the second generation of divinities. This physiological creation process continued for later generations of beings, as humans are understood to have been formed of atomisteers. Utterance 527 in the Pyramid texts narrates the following creation account. To say, a tomb created by his masturbation in Heliopolis. He put his phallus in his fist to excite desire thereby. The twins were born, Shu and Tefnot.
When the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold, when your dreams all fail and the ones we hail are the world.
to the pyramids. And I had all afternoon to wander through it. One of the perks of being president was they kind of cleared out the crowds. And yeah, the pyramids live up to the hype. They're magnificent. But as you're looking at the hieroglyphics and you're getting the background on how they were built and the Egyptian government at the time, you're reminded that I'm sure they had their versions of polls and scandals and economic ups and downs. And what's left is those pyramids. What's left is those pyramids. What's left is those pyramids.
Akhenaten and Nefertiti, hieroglyph.
The knowledge of the tree of good and evil. The Bible said, I will put enmity between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. Seeds reference DNA, different species. DNA carries all our genetic material to reproduce a species, but if DNA is split, what would be the result? Who made the pyramids? Where did they come from? Were these the sons of God mentioned in the Bible? Did they bring the code of death? Did they split our DNA? Did they duplicate our DNA, and did they add their own DNA? The Bible tells a story in Genesis 6. It says that they did. It says the fallen angels had sex with human women and created the Nephilim. Who were they? Who is the Nephilim? What is the end result? Is the end result a kingdom that's divided against itself? The book of Daniel tells us another clue. It said the last kingdom, they shall mix themselves with the seed of men. What would be the outward manifestation of this? Together of another species, one mixed with another. Who are they? Who are we? Where are we going as a species? This video is to answer those questions, and the only answers are in the Bible. Are we the B'nai Elohim? Are we a kingdom divided? Are the wars within us? Isaiah said, those who try and hide their plans from the Lord are doomed. They carry out their schemes in secret. Think no one will see them or know what they are doing. They turn everything upside down.
All right, let's talk about the fog. Fog's everywhere. Well, remember I showed you the cumulative sum of the Vatican is an upside down cross at the bottom of a keyhole. A keyhole to what, you might ask? Well,
If they're opening up anything, what do you think they're opening up? The abyss.
It's death.
since the whole upside down cross represents Satan,
The Vatican is a serpent, and there is a sheep going in the mouth of the serpent, and God's angels make up that sheep.
Flammas eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille in quam Lucifer qui nescit occasum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus iluxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
Hey, what's up, my brothers and sisters? It's Mike Malone, Watchman44, bringing you a new edition of Revelations with Watchman44. I just want to check in. I obviously haven't been doing these videos as much, but I was working on my Dark to Light presentation, so that is complete. Both are up there, so let me first share that with you, and I'm going to go through things rapid fire today. There's a lot to share, so I just want to like I said, I just want to dive in here and give you a ton of information. This way, that anybody were to look at this information, I mean, well, let me just pull this up real quick. Hold on a second. Let me go to my site. Let me minimize this, and bear with me for 1 second, and I'll share that with you first, and then we'll get into the other information I wanted to provide you. So again, this is Watchman44.com. If somebody's new to watching this, on my Dark to Light page, I put up the 2 presentations I did here. So again, they're only on Rumble. YouTube won't allow it there. Of course, we know why, because the people that run YouTube, they're run by the spirit of Satan, spirit of Lucifer, spirit of Antichrist. So they don't want the truth getting out, because these presentations will bring people to Jesus. At minimum, anybody would know, because I focused the dark side of this more. Again, you know, I'm in America, so most of my audience, I assume, would be American. But if somehow someone got this and was translated, they would know the difference there. So I start from dark, and this focuses more on the Great Reset, with Obama as the centerpiece of the presentation. Then I do part 2 to false light. And again, that'll actually focus a lot on Trump. When anybody were to be done this, again, this is almost a 4-hour presentation, this one, as well as this one. So it's almost 8 hours. To me, it could be for anybody that's new to looking at this. I jam-packed so much information, you know, some of the things I just shared in this intro just now. I just did that. So this is 8 hours of content. I think it could be the most important 8 hours someone's watched if they're new to this. The evidence is overwhelming. Patents right out of these people's mouths, what they say, it's all right there. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you in the hopes that if you all will watch it yourselves, and then you'll become familiar with the information so you can share it with others. But this whole information, if you come to Revelations, this is for people that are awake. I can say when they're awake, they're aware. If they're still stuck in the right-left paradigm, they're not truly awake. They've just been reprogrammed. People like myself, the small percentage of us that are out there, we expose both sides of the chessboard. Satan, dark, light, false light, Lucifer. So anyway, there's that. That's just a starter. Most of you all, I would assume, have seen this information, but if you just want to get kicked, jump starting here, follow this all the way through, I mean, you will know the truth. The veil, everything will be done. You will never see the world again the same. And that's a good thing because the world is going to be ending soon. Telltale signs are there for anybody that's even remotely awake. So anyway, so I wanted to go over that. So I'm going to just, like I said, I'm going to go through a ton of information. I'm sorry I'm talking fast, but I just want to get it all in. So I started with the Egyptian part of this. Obviously, the pyramid being on our dollar bill and everything, I think that plays a significant role in the end time. So I was doing some research into Greek mythology, and when you follow, Isis, Osiris, and so forth, and you keep going up to their parents, the one that you come to is the creator being is Atum, A-T-U-M, Adam. Like I said, Satan does everything as a twisted version of what God's plan is. But that's what it is. So Atum, that's essential one. And as you can see from that presentation I did, as I read into it, I found the presentation that talked about it. Says his phallic symbol, which would be his penis, that he masturbated and created the world through semen. So obviously, we have the Washington Monument at the center of the three arms, the military arm being Washington, D.C., the religious arm being the Vatican. They also have a phallic symbol in the middle of St. Peter's Square. And then the city of London, or London City, I forget whichever, the city of London or London City are two separate entities. So the one is where the Rothschilds and the financial arm of the world is. So you have the military arm being Washington, D.C., that's the military arm, the religious arm being the Vatican, and then the financial arm being the city of London, where the Rothschilds are. Rothschild, red child. So anyway, so that's that. So again, in searching that, but what does that do? That actually verifies, as the Bible said, there's nothing hidden that will not be revealed, nothing manifested will not be made known. So all secrets are being revealed, and the Watchmen of our time are breaking open everything together. So, I watch Watchmen all the time. I get stuff, and I try to put my information and put my spin on it and try to explain things the way I can, because I'll appeal to a different audience than someone else. And then they do the same. They get information, and we all work together, because in the end, all we're trying to do is save lost souls, lost sheep. So let me jump in. So I'm going to continue on that note, and I'm going to just go, like I said, I'm going to rip through a lot of this information. So again, Lucifer, Lucius Trust. So this, I actually put some stops where I wanted to do. So I'm going to play a segment of her video, and then I think just got all blurry. So I'm going to play a portion of this woman's content. This is the president of Lucifer. I'm just going to speak what their name was. They renamed it Lucis Trust, but it's really Lucifer Trust. These are people who are all Luciferian. This is the president of Lucis Trust. Now again, they all work with the United Nations. So I'm going to listen to some of the things that she speaks on, and then I'll tie in some other things with that in a second. So I'm going to play these couple minutes clip right here.
So as said, this year, our chosen seed thought for use over the conference period is, let the light of the 7 rays blend with the 7th ray, and light supernal usher in the new civilization. And one of the energies needed to inaugurate this process is that of the first ray of will, which works in partnership with the 7th ray of ceremony and order. And we're told that the 7th ray is, in the last analysis, the focused, differentiated energy of ray 1, as it expresses the will of the first aspect of divinity on earth through the power to relate and bring into objective manifestation by an act of the will, both spirit and matter. So the dynamic will of the power ray plus the rhythmic, ritualistic adaptability of the seventh ray are needed in conjunction for the full working out of the plan as it's found of the mind of God. And this is why in this present period of transition, the Lord of the seventh ray is taking over the control of affairs and the ordered working out of the plan, so as eventually to restore stability to the planet and give the incoming Aquarian influences a stable and extended field in which to work. The seventh ray works powerfully through Uranus, and visualizing this planet's influence, we can help to consolidate the new world order on the physical plane. And this process sees God manifesting himself incrementally through matter, and matter simultaneously reforming in order to radiate his glory. And through the medium of light supernal, the Christ is preparing himself to reappear as part of the immediate work of implementing the plan on earth. And in the reappearance of the Christ, we read that the avatar of synthesis is currently overshadowing the Christ as he prepares to reappear. And in June 1945, Christ set in motion the forces of reconstruction, which are related to the will aspect of divinity. And these forces of reconstruction are effective mainly in relation to those entities which we call nations. And the hierarchy at this time is attempting to channel them into the assembly of the United Nations. Also, that the United Nations at present theoretically holds before the eyes of people. The main object of the hierarchy is so to distribute these constructive, synthesizing energies that the theory of unity may slowly be turned into practice, and the word united may come to have a true significance and meaning. So in our meditations, perhaps we can place a special emphasis on the UN, its rebirth and resurrection into a living organism, a synthesis of all the highest qualities that lie within the nations of the world. And we can visualize the energy that pours from the avatar of synthesis through the Christ, the hierarchy, and the new group of world servers, strengthening this ideal in the hearts and minds of people, and in advanced other planes. So let's keep stimulating this and holding the vision of the glorious future before humanity, dedicating our lives to preparing the way for the reappearance of the Christ and the emergence of the new civilization.
Okay, so that's the president of Lucifer Trust of the United Nations. We have the Vatican singing to Lucifer, their God, opening up portals. The mirror image I showed you of the demonic Christ resurrection statue at Vatican Hall, which is designed like a serpent, I think that's pretty significant. So let me see if I can close this real quick. Okay, I'm actually going to close this window. So it was interesting. I was looking at some of those, just after I did this, I looked at some things. And I was looking at a lot of things that they do with the moon. So most of these meetings they do are either in London, Geneva, or New York. This one, when I went through the different calendars, this was this is an important day, then the Easter holiday. So this year, Easter falls on April 20th, but Passover begins on April 12th to April 20th. But this is the only meeting, well, I shouldn't say the only meeting I went through, but this was interesting because usually it's one's here, one's in London, one's in New York. This day has all three meetings take place. Again, I'm not a date setter. I just watch. That's what Watchmen do. We try to watch, get people paying attention to certain things because you just don't know what they have planned. But you heard her talk about the 7 rays. So where do we know the 7 rays from? Well, let's hear what we're told as good guys. This is one of Trump's guys. So some of you might not have heard this before, but this is General Michael Flynn. He's got an army of digital soldiers, right? So they're retaking the information. Well, they're becoming gatekeepers to people like myself showing the truth because, he'll pretend like he's a Christian, this guy. But, we'll let you listen to this first and then let me know what you think afterwards.
Your instrument of those 7-fold rays and all your archangels, all of them.
I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those 7-fold rays and archangels.
We will not retreat. We will not retreat. We will stand our ground.
And I will not retreat. I will take my stand.
We will not fear to speak. We will be the instrument of your will. Whatever it is.
I will not fear to speak, and I will be the instrument of God's will, whatever it is.
In your name. And the name of your legions.
Here I am, so help me God, in the name of Archangel Michael and his legions.
We are freeborn. And we shall remain freeborn.
I am freeborn, and I shall remain freeborn.
And we shall not be enslaved by any foe, within or without.
And I shall not be enslaved by any foe, within or without.
It's incredible. So, anyways, that's Lucius Trust. Now, obviously, I've shared with you all. Let me pull that up real quick. Hold on, let me just get this real quick. In fact, if I have it here, I just wanted to go over it again. All right, you know what? I'll skip it. You've seen it before, but essentially, the Lucius Trust, they have going towards. You know what? I can just pull right from here. Going towards 2025. Let's put in Lucius Trust towards 2025. 2025. There we go. This is the page I've shared with you all before. I'll just go to this last paragraph. So if you type in Google Lucius Trust towards 2025, they talk about the Jubilee year. And then again, this point, prophecy even suggests the emergence at some undefined time of a Christ-like figure recognized by people of spiritual inclinations and all faith. Isn't it interesting? It's a Christ-like figure. It's not a Muhammad-type figure. It's not a Buddha-type figure. It's a Christ-like figure. So, furthermore, it's so funny because I think, I don't know if some of you've seen this, but now they've made an AI Jesus. They don't make an AI Muhammad, an AI Buddha. They don't do that. Again, there's a new AI Bible. Is there an AI Torah? Is there an AI Quran? No, it's always the Bible. So it should be really pretty obvious what's the threat to these demons that run our world. So I wanted to pull up some of this. So if you ever want to search and look at the Q information here, so Q alerts, this is the site there's other sites that have all this information. The military drops the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. You all heard, right? That woman, the president of the Lucius Trust, trust the plan. So I type in trust the plan. There's 42 drops where they tell you trust the plan, trust the plan. Where we go one, we go all. They also say think mirror. That was found in 5 drops. So think mirror. So once you find the Lord and you can start breaking all this open, you can think mirror and then do like I did with finding videos like the Baphomet symbol out of the Vatican. That's how I think mirror. Double meanings exist. Well, MAGA also happens to be the highest degree of the Church of Satan. Well, isn't that interesting? Roswell, are we alone? Well, I've shared everything with the Vatican, and that demonic-looking symbol, and then how aliens exist. That's what they're prepping us for. So, and I've shared the aliens with the pyramid now. But in this past year, we've had the Vatican introducing their new mascot. Now we have a mascot after all these hundreds and hundreds of years, and they just happen to name it Luce, which is Italian for light, the light bearer. But also here, let me see where this telescope article is here. This is actually, most of the stuff is in the long presentation I did. I'm just trying to pack some of this in quickly as I go along with this. But Max Planck Institute here, again, they talk about the Lucifer. Each of the two telescopes equipped with 3 single beam platinums, an optical near-infrared instrument, Luci, formerly Lucifer. This is that. Now, remember, the Pope said he's going to baptize Martians and all this. So, anyway, just wanted to share that. So let me go through. I'm going to keep on ripping through this information here and just drop. And then I'm going to come back to that in a second. So where did I leave off here? All right. Oh, so getting back to, so the Bible shows that the Bible, when the mysteries are being revealed there, that they traveled over the seamen. Let me come back to this first part. So here, in the Spirit of God, Elohim, gods of the supreme gods, the God, our God, the God of the Bible is God over all, supreme God El. God's angels moved upon the face as the parts that turns of the waters. Hebrew words for mayim means seamen. So again, our God, the Holy Spirit's revealing the enemy there. So isn't it interesting? Again, a lot of this I did cover in my presentation, but President Obama, his presidential portrait, he does the snake in the garden. Isn't that interesting? In my dark to light presentation, I actually show you all the other presidential portraits, and he decides to pick this peculiar looking backdrop. Well, him and his artist, but this is what they decide to. So I pull up a picture that's in the presentation. Let me see if I have that here. Bear with me for a second. I thought I opened it in 1 second. All right, let me just pull this up over here. I'll have it for you in 2 seconds. Okay. So there's his hand in the picture. You can look this up for yourself, but then here's the hand if you look closer and you have the spiritual eyes to see. Doesn't that look like a serpent? And in the presentation I shared that if you, let me see if I can open up a bigger copy of this, but let me see. Well, anyway, if you'll look here, you can look this up yourself. There's one finger, which would be his pinky finger. That's one finger. And then there's this long finger here, 2, 3, 4, 5 long fingers. Now, if this is his arm and he's holding his hand, wouldn't there be a thumb on the other side? Just interesting choice of accidents. But then the guy that did his artwork, so the serpent in the garden, Kenyan artist added a sperm cell to Obama's presidential portrait. So that's on his head, and you can look that up later. But just so you can read this for yourself, where's this at? In a 2015 interview with CBS News, Wiley stated that he often added sperm cells into paintings to take masculinity and all of its bravado down to its most essential component. His Alexander the Great variation features a background full of sperm cells. So again, the spirit, again, our battle is not against flesh and blood, against principalities, against the powers and the spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what this is all about. So, I've come to the truth now. This is just the temple that I'm in for however long I'm here to do the Lord's work, to try to save more souls and get more people on board. But anyway, I wanted to bring it up, and I wanted to share this other picture. This is in a presentation I've done before. Oh, where is this at? I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Vatican. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up my Vatican folder, and I'll just go through this all. Vatican, here we go. So that's a picture. Again, this is different pictures when you see the reason why they designed things like that. There are no instances. Once you see one, you can see a coincidence. Is that a snake? Well, yeah, that's a crooked tongue that goes right to that building there. A forked tongue. Sure looks like a serpent to me. Oh, that looks like a serpent. Sheep head. So the serpent is eating the sheep when you go through the window there. And again, the semen's come through here. There's that mirror image. The slave collar, they show you basically you're a slave in this system once you're here. And your freedom, how you become free, is Jesus. So again, that's, someone did it just to show you. So why, it's a pretty odd thing to put in there, but again, how much of the world knows this? That's what, the watchmen of our time are trying to expose. So there again, that picture, just so you can see it for full. So we have the Baphomet. I'll share something else with the Baphomet in a moment. Basilica means the crowned serpent. St. Peter's Basilica. You got to be kidding me. Lucifer, again, the large binocular telescope, near infrared, utility with camera and integral field unit for extragalactic research. So that's at Mount Graham in Arizona, and that's the Vatican's telescope. So this is the one I want to show you. So Lucifer, male and female. So Jesus said, what is spirit, and what is flesh. So flesh is the enemy. So isn't it interesting that in the Vatican that they would have one of these here holding a skin suit? Because they know, the elite of the world, they know the truth. Once they've sold their souls, it's a big secret. That's why they go, shh. They do their symbolism. They do all this stuff. And it's because they just mock everybody. Because the people, the sheeple, are too stupid and dumb to wake up. And we're all guilty of it. When you show this information, if you can't see it, it's not that you can't see it. It's that you will not see it because you have free will. But it takes a certain amount of humility to admit that you're wrong and then come to the truth that you're really living in a nightmare. And this world is just all lies of the father of lies, Satan, Lucifer. Let me see if any other pictures there. So Samael, again, Lilith, transgender, all this stuff all ties into where we're at in this world, point of world history. So again, when they do the sign of the cross, they teach you how to do it upside down. Once you start seeing this stuff, you don't unsee it. Let me see if there's any more. Satan's took over the Vatican. Okay. So that's that. Let me close this. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to share here. All right. Oh, yeah. So again, he's opening up portals. I shared this in one of my other ones there. So if you go to St. Peter's Basilica.info, you come here. Then on the left here, there's a menu. If you go to the Scavy map, it pulls up a map of the necropolis. Okay. Now, once you're at the necropolis, if you scroll down here, and if you look at you, that is the tomb for Lucifer. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So, did you catch that here? So, and Jesus said unto him, I want to pull this up, forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for us. So, who is against us? Every single leader on the world stage. When I say every leader, I mean every leader on the world stage, because they're not showing you any of this. So that's what we're doing, because they're marching forward to the beast system. However it should be rolled out, that's where we're headed to, and it's moving forward like a freight train. So I'm going to just go over some information, and then one of my subscribers put a question up, so I'm going to share some things here first. Let me actually pull up some of these pictures too. So I showed you here, so the Baphomet, let me pull this picture over here. What are the chances that when you fold these dollar bills into the Baphomet, so there you can see the Baphomet, that's what this was done with intent, that, you know, the old 20 showed the Oklahoma City bombing, the front and back. Here, this was the 20 that was done here, showed the Twin Tower bombings, the Pentagon bombing on the backside of that. This is the bombings yet to come. So we have a nuke going off here. There's another picture of it here. The Hoover Dam is going to be destroyed. And it's all done in the pentagram. So this is all yet to come. And isn't it interesting, too, that all the, you know, the truth tellers, the alt-right media, that none of them ever cover this? Isn't that interesting? Because they're gatekeepers. They don't want you knowing the truth because they've most likely sold their souls as well. So let me do that. So real quick, I wanted to go through here. So I'm going to share with you. Actually, I'm going to pull up one more folder, my 311 folder. Bear with me for a second. How much are we doing with time? Okay, we're at 47 minutes. So I'm going to try to pick this pace up a little bit. All right. So they'll tell you this is about MAGA cube, Make America Great Again cube. They say to a certain power, but the cube actually goes to Saturn, Satan worship. So if you break this down here, you can see where the IXXI is. So again, IXXI, this all ties in. This is all biblical. So again, if you were to take IX, that's 9, X1, that's 11, 9, 11, right? IX, 9, 11, September 11th. There's the cube in the middle, stuck in the middle with you. Then U2's song, you're stuck in a moment, you can't get out. They mock us with all their songs. So there's that. So let me go to the next one. Now, I am that I am. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. He said this unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. The cross of the sun, IHS, is the IXI, gate of God. That's what they're saying here. So here's the cube again, the sigil of Saturn. So in reality, the cross is our way out of this. So again, you have a good you have a bad you. You are kingdom divided, and when your eyes are divided, you have to turn quite around, turn back to Jesus. That's your chance out of this hellhole we're in. So as you'll look here, 11, 11, 11. So if you take 3 lines, 1 line, 2 lines that form this, right? And then another red line, a red line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 11, 11, 11. That's 33. 33-degree parallel, Mount Hermon. A third of the angels fell, 33. Again, so we keep following that. So again, 9/11, 9/11. Here you go. You see that. So there's the flag. Again, this is the synagogue of Satan. These are Jews who say they are, but are not. These people are not the chosen ones. They've just hijacked it like they've hijacked everywhere else. And then what they're doing with the genocide they're pulling on the Palestinian people, they're making the world really hate them. And because people that are awakening to the evil that runs this planet, they're learning about the Rothschilds and everything. And if someone, and again, like I said, this has been a process for myself, but if you're not going for the Bible and learning the truths of the Bible, learning about the synagogue of Satan, they're going to think that who do these people say they're God's chosen people? Well, God did choose a certain people, and you can be grafted in even if you're not directly, one of their, from the Hebrew descendants that were chosen. Benjamin Netanyahu, all those guys, they're not. They are the synagogue of Satan, the Rothschilds, and so forth. But isn't it interesting how they would infiltrate the world to have the whole world turn against them? That's how I see this playing out. So it's interesting too when they do their angles here. So this is a 90 and 47 up here. So 9 plus 0 is 9. 4 plus 7 is 11. 9, 11, 9, 11. And they had an angel over them from the bottomless pit. That's what Revelation 9:11 talks about. Apollyon, Abaddon. That's it. So this is their God. So the first and second temples in Jerusalem, as well as the Twin Towers, were all destroyed on the same numerological date, 9/11. So again, 9/11, 9th of Av, that's when the first temple was destroyed in 587 BC. In 70 AD, the second temple, 9th of Av, was destroyed. And in September 11th, modern times, that was symbolic to create the one world order. And even in the Bible, when they say, when he's asking about the Pharisees about destroying the temple, Jesus, and they're talking about a physical temple. He's talking about this temple because he's explaining it for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Everything is spiritual. That's why when he discussed in all of his parables, all about spiritual. And so when the September 11th attacks happened, George W. Bush, he read Psalm 23. When they were being rebuilt, the ceremony, Barack Obama read Psalm 46. And what I foresee happening is that when they destroy New York City with the bombings that are on the currency, whoever the Antichrist is, I'm imagining that's going to be the person that's going to read Psalm 69. So let me come here and I'll read Psalm 69 for you. Just listen to how it starts and see why this would make sense. 69. All right. I'm just going to read just the beginning of it. Save me, O God, for the waters are come unto my soul. I sink in deep mire where there is no standing. I come into deep waters where the flood overflows me. Wouldn't that be pretty choice to do? So 23, 23, 46, and then adding the third string, the triple helix. This is what this is, the altering of the DNA, the merging of the iron and clay. They will not merge on earth, but that's why this DNA manipulation is so important to the global elite that run us. So that would be 69. 69 goes to the divine feminine. That's why it's in their pyramid. The 69 is sign for Cancer, 6-9. So none of this stuff is an accident. This is what these demons do. So I wanted to go over that. So again, there's the Lucifer, the telescope. I've covered all that. Again, in 2025, they have Lucifer Trust says that there's going to be a Christ-like figure emerging. The Q drops, which says trust the plan. Again, this is all dark to light to false light. But again, the masses are going to follow because that's what the Bible tells us. So they have next 6 years. That was said in 2019, next 6 years. Well, that takes us to 2025. It seems like we're going full steam towards their plan, and there's going to be a Christ-like figure, as per the President Lucifer Trust just told us. So you have the Pope, who was Antichrist, opening it up. He said the Pope died on the cross. He just in one of his recent speeches, he talked about a one-world religion again. So, I mean, we're here. So what I'll do now, I'm just going to jump into some just news and stuff I've been doing here. This again is something from last several days. Trump vows to vigorously pursue the death penalty following Biden commutations. So he said vowed to pursue the death penalty for all violent rapists and murderers. Well, could it also be people that violate number one of the universal Noahide laws, which there should be no idolatry, which Jesus Christ will be considered an idol? When Michael Flynn was praying that prayer that Claire Prophet did, to the 7 rays of light, everybody in the audience just went along doing it and not knowing. Similarly, when they had one of those rabbis at the Trump rally, he says, and we're all going to adhere to the 7 Noahide laws, and everybody there just took it right in without batting an eye. A CDC scientist responds to Dr. Burchell, raising alarm over handling of bird flu. So again, now this is the guy that had all the, I think I actually have a picture of him. Hold on one second. Let me come back here. Where are we at? Hold on, Sodom. I think I have it here, Sodom and Gomorrah. Where's that? Sodom here. So wait. So where's this guy at? So here's some of the people, in the current Biden administration. Like I said, they make it so tough. This is our military. There he is. Hold on. So this guy here. Oh my God, it's so crazy. So these people here. So that guy, going back to here. This is Dr. Dimitri Descalas. So I'm going to trust whatever he has to say. The guy that has the pentagram on his chest. Here, it's likely 7% of all dairy workers have been affected already. So again, they're going to have to go to their poultry, kill that because they want to vaccinate the chickens. They got to get it in you somehow or another way. Now, this just goes to show the absurdity. Again, this makes me think, what are they planning? So Biden just gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Jose Andres, who appears in photos with Trump's would-be assassin. So this was the would-be assassin, and here's this guy with him. I mean, they're making the dark side so obvious.
George
and
Soros.
here, again.
George Soros is Alex Soros. In Hungary, George Soros escaped Nazi occupation to build a life of freedom for himself and countless others around.
So Hillary Clinton got the Medal of Freedom. George Soros got the Medal of Freedom. It's over top. Bono got the Medal of Freedom. I mean, these people are all Satanists. And then here, the Patriot statue, President Trump, so much when you look back at what this man has endured to fight for, we all believe in. America will not witness another movement like this again in our lifetime. Oh, you're right, because this is it for our lifetime. But here.
Ask yourself, why won't he release his tax returns?
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release.
How many emails? 33,000?
My tax returns.
Just another puppet. X is now becoming the Everything Wrong app. You can have criticism of public figures, controversial opinions or conspiracy theories, negative engagement baiting, excessive negativity or complaining, criticism, platform wars, policies. Every once in a while I just show you just some of the insanity. People, like I said, you want to talk about a depraved mind.
Чуть моросящий дождик портил весь этюд. Продрогшие прохожие спешат домой. ушел на Капошваров.
He said, there's no putting this back in a box, this world. Oh yeah, how about this? A reporter was conveniently allowed to tour the terrorist home to show his bomb-making station and open Quran. This doesn't seem staged.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually.
I mean, what a joke how they manipulate people. Isn't it? This doesn't look like a crime scene to me. I mean, do you see any crime tape or anything like that? And just they allow the supporters to go in and do her thing. I don't want to play anymore. It's just, here's a funny meme someone put up. Testicular injury in women's sports all the way through the past history until 2020. Biblical type of sudden surge in a new health crisis for women. Not even a single news article. Society only gives a crap when men are affected. F the patriarchy. Again, testicular injuries in women's sports. Europe today. Be tolerant, you racist bigot. This is what the cops saying. That's my daughter. Multiculturalism. Syria's new justice minister personally gives orders to execute woman. 2015 video. See above. Research reportedly showing Justice Minister of Al-Qaeda-linked government Shadi al-Wasi, pictured, this guy, presiding, giving religious ruling to murder women accused of prostitution.
وبعد فقد تم الحكم على هذه الامرأة بحكم القتل الإرشاد والامتهان للدعارة، وقد كانت تعمل في هذه الدعارة في هذه القرية، وبناء عليه قررت مجلس العلماء التي صادقت على هذا الحكم بإقامة هذا الحد في مكان.
This is additional scale-proof fencing is being installed around the White House in preparation for the January 20th inauguration. Now, we'll discuss that now. Give me a second. So one of my subscribers, I think it's Witness 333, subscribed to my last video I did, not one of my presentations, and he said, maybe give your input on what's going on, like what you think is going to happen. It's so hard in so many ways. I try to look at all this on so many levels. A lot of times you see things happen, then you say, okay, well, that makes sense why they're doing it. You kind of figure it out, but how can you predict what Satan's been working on for thousands of years to get to this point? I look at it, first off, in terms of just near future stuff with Trump. I mean, obviously he plays an important role because America's military might, so whatever that should be. But, I didn't think the election was going to go off like that. That totally shocked me, like it probably shocked most people. Just yesterday, again, the certification of the presidential election went by virtually unnoticed to most people. I don't think most people even knew it was taking place. Now, again, 4 years ago, that was the darkest day in American history when they, set up that trap. Really, that's what it was. Dramatization. People have seen the footage of people Antifa getting dressed in Trump gear, people handing bats outside, from inside, outside, and weapons and so forth. So, enough people have seen that. But, I still think there could be something here because that's what I've been saying all along. That's why I thought something was going to happen so they don't do a transfer of power, because to make the dark side look that much better. And again, Trump said he's the only one that can stop World War III. So if something should happen in the next 2 weeks and it gets really dark, we're going to beg for the light, especially whatever chaos they bring. And there's got to still be chaos. I mean, perhaps he does get inaugurated on January 20th. All if you're looking into this stuff, as long as you have, that there's plans. They're not good, whatever it is. Trump's in part with all them. Elon Musk, Mr. Brain Chip, talks about universal income. Now he's censoring and so forth. I mean, it's just it's so obvious. It's just crazy that some people are not willing to see it because they don't want to realize that it's the end of the world. They don't want to come to grips with their the fate of the world, and basically the world's going to be destroyed in the very near future. I don't say that. People say, "Oh, you're so negative." It's not negative. It's just the truth. What's where you take your positivity out of it is that if you come to Christ, you realize that this is temporary anyway. Everybody knew that. You're always going to die at some point. Now you just come to grips with it. It's coming a lot sooner, that we are at the end of the Bible. All prophecies are popping out of the pages right now. And that you have, if you turn back, you have eternal life. And you just have to humble yourself, ask for forgiveness, and turn back and believe on Him, and ask for salvation. It's that simple. So, but again, getting to the bigger side, the chessboard. China hasn't made their move. Maybe they make their move in the next 2 weeks. I look at sharing the stuff about the Pharaoh and all that stuff. Well, and I think about how these Noahide laws, and I sit there and think to myself, well, if that Egypt plays a part of it, obviously the pyramid, the spirit that's behind all this, that is of importance. So if I look at the Abraham Accords, where you make shake brothers' hand, right? Ishmael and Isaac, the father of the Hebrew world, the father of the Arab world. And where did Ishmael come from? Well, Abraham had a child with Hagar, who was an Egyptian maidservant. So that all ties back. So I think to myself, when you look at all the kingdoms of the world, like, if you think about Babylon, you think about all this, well, if it were to be the Muslim world and how that ties into aliens, in my From Dark presentation, I get into Islam, I get into how Allah says He's the God of all things, which would include aliens. So it touches on all that stuff. So if there's some alien element to that, perhaps that's what it is. And if you look at way the Muslims are infiltrating everything, again, there's good Muslims that are just following a lie. I do realize that. But in reality, the top of them, they have bad intentions. So they want to put their Sharia law in worldwide. And if you look at the way they've taken over in France, the way they've taken over in London, the import here, we're going to see chaos. And how do we know that? Well, Albert Pike has it in his letter, the 3 world wars, political Zionism. Again, this will be Christian nationalism. They're not really Christians because they're not following anything. They, God and country. It's not God and country. It's God then country. But that's all falling into place. So we're going to see that. That was the first little hint after on New Year's Day, whether we're going to see more of that. So even if you're pitting that, they say they're going to, Albert Pike's letter says we're going to bring it to just complete moral exhaustion for the world, that they're going to beg for the light of Lucifer. So if they set it off, let's say Trump's the leader of political Zionism, and then Obama and MBS, the Prince bin Salman, or however it should play out, they're the leader of the Arab world. Well, this is what they told us is coming. So if we have that, and it comes to some kind of a religious war, and then then something comes in, and man of peace comes in, however this should play out. There's just all these variables, but we just know it's coming one way or another. They're going to crash the global financial market. There's going to be some type of digital currency. They're telling you that. So it's coming. The mark of the beast is coming. And that's what I said. That's what it's all about, is the mark of the beast, because they could easily just, if it was only about killing everybody, these psychopaths, they would do that. But they know it's spiritual. They know the Vatican. They know the truth of all this. They know the host body system. So they want your soul. That's what they want. So they want you to deny Christ and take it. That's it. That's what it's all about. So, like I said, I just try to, read the tea leaves and try to determine a lot of this stuff. Like I said, it's after it happens.
David, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets. Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place. All of this has happened.
All right. Here, Afghanistan and Pakistan on the brink of war. Taliban have captured a village in Pakistan, 24 kilometers from the border of Afghanistan. Pakistan's prime minister already said it's time to eradicate the Taliban once and for all. So again, global. These are just some memes I shared. Follow the silence. That should be the truth. if you homeschool your kids, they won't fit in with society. These people reply back, exactly. That's where we're going, off the cliff. What's really going on in the White House? It's so interesting that people actually think that this guy is making any decisions the last several years. Or let's put Vladimir Zelensky on it, right? The president of Ukraine. I mean, you have a comedian, a gay comedian, actor, that he's leading this war against Russia. Here, traditional Christian prayers at the start of each day in Parliament at risk of being scrapped after being deemed archaic. So we see that in North Korea, they have the hypersonic missiles. They're getting ready to launch. So again, we're slowly getting ready to that, world-ending type event that they're manufacturing. Here's General Michael Flynn. Here, breaking: Biden admin releases 11 Yemeni terrorists from Guantanamo Bay, will send to Oman. He says, totally unacceptable. This release in the midst of the war going on in the Middle East, where U.S. forces, our Navy, and our strong ally Israel are engaged in direct combat operations against the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. We have a combination of fools and traitors running our government. Please, someone follow the money trail on this one. And you have everybody there. Oh, so this was a good post here when I was showing you all the 33 symbolism. Let me pull it up real quick. So again, AI, they've got the Grok symbol here. So again, the X with the 1. And again, if you mirror that, wasn't it interesting? It does the 9/11 thing that we just shared at the beginning.
When I was a little boy, the devil called my name. I say now, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consecrated boy, singing in a Sunday choir. Oh, my mama loves me, she loves me. She get down on her knees and hug me, and she loves me like a rock. She rocked me like a rock, oh baby, just love me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. When I was grown to be a man, and the devil would call my name. I say now, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consummated man. Stretching in purity, my mama loves me. She loves me. She get down on her knees and hug me. Oh, she loves me like a rock. She rocked me like a rock, oh baby, just love me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me. And if I was the president, the Congress called my name. I say now, who do you think you're fooling? Right after presidential seal, I'm up on the presidential podium. My mama loves me, she loves me. She get down on her knees and hug me. Oh, she loves me like a rock. She rocked me like a rock, oh baby, just love me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me like a rock. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me like a rock. Love me like a rock. Love me like a rock.
Frog Eye, the Illuminati card game. The Golden Globes the other night. I think the divine feminine energy is rising. This was an interesting post. This was a post from former NBA star Scottie Pippen sent to Elon Musk. Let the games begin. What does that mean? He's wearing the Masonic number 33. Probably just a coincidence. Well, anybody that thought his baptism was genuine, well, here he's taking the presidential Medal of Freedom from Joe Biden. I'm going to say if he's in Hollywood, he's on their team. They've sold the soul, and that's a one-time deal. So again, here the new rock logo. It's clear 11 in Roman numerals. Flip it over, and you get IX. Again, they do mirroring, as you've seen. There's our phallic symbol. Now remember, the Washington D.C. monument, a tomb, right? He masturbated with the phallic, it said, and he created that. So this is what they worship there, and the height of it is 6,666 inches, and the width at the base is 666 inches. Probably just a coincidence. So Egypt, America, probably more coincidences. Masonic logo. And so in our face, if anybody's just willing to look. And there they have their Osiris. They do the cross thing there, and then what do they make their little idols right there? I just try to pour so much information. I'm going to come back and read that post, and I'll finish up in a second here. MAGA, the Church of Satan, again, the fifth degree Satanist, MAGA, magus, MAGA in Latin, magical, magic witch, magic in Italian, sorcerer, witch, MAGA in Spanish, magician or wizard or illusionist, MAGA in Polish, magician, MAGA in Sanskrit, magician or priest of the sun. MAGA is the fifth and highest degree in the hierarchy of the Church of Satan. What that woman, the head of Lucifer Trust, say about the hierarchy? These lightnings hitting, again, it hit the Washington Monument, hit the Empire State Building, hit the Capitol Building. Was it them? Was it the Lord? Who knows? They're just signs to look out at. This isn't Christianity, it's paganism. Whoever needs salvation, here it is. Believe by faith and faith alone and receive eternal life with God. There you go again, the frog out of the Illuminati, and then they're all doing keck. You're not sick, you're just under the weather. All right, so there's that. Trump officially endorses Mike Johnson for House Speaker. Mike Johnson is not MAGA. They put the chip and tells him good. Mike Johnson is so MAGA. This girl did a nice thing. There's that. Let's see here. May Musk. This is his mother. Let me see what this clip is, then I'll go in. Yeah, sure it's here. Hold on.
Something. We have to go see Bill Gates and a lot of different people that really understand what's happening. We have to talk to them, maybe in certain areas, closing that internet up in some way. Somebody will say, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. These are foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people. We've got to maybe do something with the internet. Do something. We have to.
Freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Here, I'll play this. You know what? I was going to do this one. I'll play as part of this, but again, if you're not following Jonathan Kleck. Anyway, if you want to come to my XP, you can do that. But let me read the last thing. Why do I post so much about Jesus or talk about Jesus so much? 4 reasons. Heaven and hell are real. Everyone on my friends list is going to go to one of those places someday and stay there for eternity. Jesus is the only way to heaven. I love all my friends, and I don't want to see them in hell. That's pretty much everybody, the strangers that watch this. I just want to see you all saved. My mommy is the greatest inspiration. Again, this is May Musk. And let me come back and read this one post, and then we'll wrap this up for today. Where's that? Here. I'm going to read this real quick. Okay. He received 39 stripes because 40 was known to kill a man. They wanted him alive. They held handfuls of his beard and hair and pulled it out by the roots. They wanted him alive. They kicked, punched, and spit on him for hours until there wasn't a single spot in his body not covered in blood. They wanted him alive. They shoved a crown of thorns on his head so harshly it stuck in his skin. They wanted him alive. After hours being beaten, mocked, whipped, flogged, and tortured, they made him walk with a cross. They made him carry it. A rough piece of wood with splinters digging into fresh wounds. They wanted him alive. They wanted him to feel every ounce of pain they could bring. He had to feel it in order to heal us. Crucifixion was historically one of the cruelest, most tortured deaths a human could face. Hours upon hours of torture torture most of us cannot mentally think of because the cruelty isn't normal. It isn't something our minds can comprehend. We celebrate Easter with pastel colors, happy children hunting eggs, and chocolate. Truth is, there was absolutely nothing happy about the day Jesus died. It was cruel, bloody, and nasty. He could have stopped all of it. He could have called every angel in heaven to demolish every person standing and shouting, "Crucify him." He didn't. He knew in order to save a Sunday, you have to have a Friday. He knew in order to have joy, you have to carry your cross. He felt everything that day. He felt how your heart broke wide open when you had to watch your baby die. He felt how heavy your life was when you were staring down the barrel of a gun, wondering if the man you called husband was going to shoot you. He carried that weight of the burden you have felt since your spouse died and life doesn't seem right since. On that cross, he held the rapists and murderers, the sinners and the saints. He leveled every playing field and said, all of you are worth it. He knew he had to carry the cross. He never promised the cross you carry in this life would not be heavy. He wasn't. His promise is that Sunday is coming. No matter how heavy Friday is, financially, emotionally, mentally, or physically, Friday is heavy. That cross is weighing you down and you are able to crumble under its weight. His promise was simply this: he won't make you carry it alone. What kind of king would step down from his throne for this? Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of God, did for you. He did every bit of it for you and me. Oh, yes, it is heavy. So heavy sometimes you do not think you can take one more step. But look up, because Sunday is coming. This is so powerful. So anyway, this will be a wrap for today's presentation. I hope you like the content I shared there. Like I said, I have it all in my head there. I don't know how to always convey the message. I just try to give you as much as I can, hoping that someone will look at the information, because if anybody's willing, again, that's the key word, willing to look, they will find the truth, and the veil will be lifted, and they will see through all the lies and deception of this world, of the father of lies, Satan, Lucifer, and what's to come. Their plans are announcing it. It's not even hidden. It's so easy. Again, someone's just got to be willing to look. So as always, as I said, I hope you appreciate the content. I hope you'll share this with others. Thank you. God bless. Always remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. Mike Malone, Watchman44, signing out.